being super brave and thought I would do a little video to show you how you can arrange your cut flowers, which everyone seems to be ordering to arrange at home. So I'm just going to give you a little run through of how you can sort of put them together without sort of freaking out when you've sort of got a big bunch of flowers in front of you. So we've got a lovely selection of flowers this week. I've gone for sort of purple colours with a bit of blushy pink in there. Managed to get hold of this beautiful ranunculus, which is slightly different to your standard ranunculus, which I've got in this bunch here. It's a lot more wispy and wild. So we've got that. We've got some lovely roses, wax flower and some scabious. Down here I've got the good old classics, which will give a little lovely scent to your bouquet as well. So I've got stocks in here and some gorgeous tulips. So I'm going to show you how to sort of put this together and make a lovely hand tie, which you can enjoy. And hopefully, if you keep ordering cut flowers from me, then you'll sort of get really good at it, and then hopefully be able to put one together really quickly. So I'm going to run through how we do this. In your cut flower bunches that I do, I always apply a nice bit of foliage so you've got a good base for your hand ties. So we've got in here a nice bit of bay and some eucalyptus, and I've got a lovely sort of mixed bunch this week, which has got some flowering heather in and some sage, which gives a lovely smell, and also some rosemary. So these are sort of things that you can find in the garden as well. So if you find that you need to pack it out a bit more, then you can head into the garden and pick what you like. Right, so I'm going to lay out the flowers that we've got first. So it's good to have a look at what you've got and sort of lay it out in front of you, so you've got sort of, I don't know if you can see, but so you've got bunches in front of you, you can see what you've got. It's easier to pop your bouquet together that way. Also got some lovely wax flower, which is really lovely and long lasting, and also a really lovely smell, like lemony smell. And put one more rose here. And I'll bring up just in case I forget them. Can't forget them. Okay, just move that out of the way. So you'll notice the tulips that I've got, obviously the spring flowers tend to be a little bit shorter in stem, so I'll show you how you sort of incorporate that into your bouquet with longer stems, because that can be a little bit daunting, because it all sort of ends up in a different heights. So what I would suggest you do first is get a nice big chunky bit of foliage. Let's see what we've got here I can work with first, or even a couple of bits put together. Also got a bit of lavender as well, so if you've got any lavender growing in the garden, you can nab that as well. So you're going to start with it in your hand. It depends which you feel more comfortable. I usually start in this hand, and then I just keep layering it on top. So I always have it at a slight angle. And you're going to start off with your sort of the flowers you really want to see, you know, as your focal flowers. So your roses, you know, you want them to stand out, so they're going to go in the middle. So just going to take off the guard petals around the bottom of the flower head. So I'm just going to start layering this, and you'll see as I add each flower, I'm sort of layering it at an angle towards my hip. So then I'm going to go with a bit more foliage. I will have prepared the cut flowers for you a little bit, but by taking off some of the lower foliage. But if you find that it's a bit foliage heavy, then you can take off a bit more. So particularly with the tulips, they can be a bit heavy, with quite a lot of heavy leaves on, so you can take those off. So as I'm going, I'm just giving it a bit of a twist as I go. So it's going to give it a nice even shape. I love using different foliages because it just gives lots of different textures to your bouquet. Eucalyptus is lovely as well. I mean, we use eucalyptus quite a lot in bouquets, but it's nice to sort of have a difference. So you can add that in with it. It's got a lovely scent as well. So I'm just going to keep adding into here. I'm going to use my stocks. Stocks again, you can just pick off the leaves. You don't leave a few leaves on the top because otherwise it loses its shape a little bit. I'm just going to add that one in there. And go for another rose. And there's nothing wrong with getting halfway through and thinking, oh gosh, that doesn't look how I want it to. Just put it down and start again, because you can end up faffing for ages. I mean, I still do it as well. You end up faffing for a long time, realising it's not working out. So just stop, put it down and start again. So as you can see, I'm just sort of adding in as I go, just layering it in that spiral shape. Any bits that need to be picked off, you can break off as you go. And with your wax flower, these are quite long stems, so don't be afraid to cut these down, because otherwise you might find there's just sort of great big twirly bits hanging out. But you can cut it down quite easily as well, into little bunches, and just add that in. That's what's left of that, so I can use that as well. So it's trying to use everything you've got on in front of you. Get lavender foliage. Oh, it smells amazing. I'm loving a bit of pink. So, just keep adding. So I'm doing probably adding two flowers and then adding a bit of foliage, so it keeps it nice and loose, not too packed together. This flowering heather is gorgeous as well, and you can get that quite readily at the moment. So if you see it in bunches, usually the time of year you will. Now we've got these gorgeous ranunculus, which I don't want to forget. Again, these are coming quite chunky today, so you can again cut these down a little bit more, a bit like the wax flower, so you can, sort of separate the stems. So that can go in there. Other thing you can do is not be afraid to sort of poke around with getting bits, in the middle. You can sort of relax your hand a little bit. A good tip is not to hold your bunch too tight. Keeping it nice and loose and moving it around gives you a bit more freeness to the flowers. Put a bit of spice in. Beautiful scabious, one of my favourites. And I love these because they sort of grow in weird and wonderful angles, so you can have these coming out in a nice little fun bit at the side. And adding my other roses I've got here, just taking off those guard petals. A nice big bit of wax here, but I'm just going to trim it down a little bit, otherwise it's going to be a bit too bushy for the bunch. And those little offcuts you can always pop in a little vase to put somewhere else. So I'm just adding, keeping that nice spiral shape, and keep turning that bunch. The last bits this time, and you can keep adding a little bit more foliage at the side if you want to. Depends how much you really want to beef your bouquet out with. I mean, you might find that you just want to put, divide it into lots of little vases. So, but this is just to show you how to put a nice bouquet together, especially for the Easter weekend. So, just going to put that one there, I think. A few more little odds here. I'm just going to pop them around to the side. So you see you've got a nice big chunky bunch. And then I generally use just garden twine to tie off because it's a bit more forgiving than ribbon. Tends to cut into the stems a bit more. So this is a bit more gentler. So you can tie it together if you want to, you don't have to. You can just sort of cut your stems to the length of the vase and just pop it in and just let it do its thing. Or you can tie it just, you don't need to tie it too tightly because it tends to sort of pack the flowers together, but I find tying it does just keep it in the places that you want it to be kept. So, just going to tie that off from here. I'll show you the finished product. So you've got lots of longer stems coming down. What I usually do is turn it on its side like this and just trim those depending on the size of your vase. I'm going to be going with this vase here. Let's move that away. So I'm going to trim them right down, but keeping that at a nice angle, because the greater the angle on your stems, the more water uptake your flowers will have. Oh, some real tough stems in there. There we go. So I've got fresh, clean vase and some nice flower food in there. And you can sort of have a bit of a jig around when it's in. But hopefully that will give you a bit of a basic lesson on how to arrange your flowers at home. And if you have any questions, get in touch. Thank you for watching. Bye!